Hey there, it's Bernardo, and you're watching Vibe Code with me. And today we're gonna take a look at kilocode. So without further ado, let's take a look at what kilocode is. So kilocode is a plugin for mainly VS Code like editors and also Jetbrains. So you can see you can install it in VS Code, Jetbrains, I guess any VS Code like interface. They seem to have an IDE. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that. I think as I've been doing with the tools that were born as VS Code extensions, I'm gonna test it in VS Code. I think this is where kilocode first came. So just to give it the best shot, not sure. I'm gonna install the CLI also to test it out. But yeah. And yeah, kilocode is free. You can pay them for, if you go to pricing, you can see that you can pay them for the token. So they also act as a kind of like provider. They might, I guess they get a cut on that. So maybe if you really like them and you want to pay for the models here, you can use, you can use them, or you can just connect to whatever provider you have. I guess you can connect to Open Router. I think I will use Z.ai because I have the GLN coding plan, so I think I'm going to use that. So yeah, I'm going to see how that goes. They also have this theme, which I guess is similar to what Continue is doing. So you can centralize billing and likely share the access tokens and whatnot. I'm not sure, but yeah, we're not going to be testing that. And yeah, we seem to support, bring your own API keys. So that's what we're going to do. But yeah, I think all we need to do is install it in VS Code. I'm also going to install the CLI just to take a look at it. And yeah, we will see what it has to offer. So let's jump into that. So we'll just go ahead and install it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to open VS Code. And I likely have the Continue project installed. So I'm going to do a few things. First, I'm going to disable Continue extension, same way I disabled Copilot. So I'm going to disable that. Disable. I'm going to restart extensions. Now this is disabled, and I'm just going to install kilocode. I got some English breakfast. Tea, but yeah. So kilocode. We're just going to install it. Trust publisher install. And they have, okay. Let's see what their onboarding shows. Let me just close this for now. Yeah, so yeah, it is an interesting thing. It has different modes. So they have the orchestrator, which I guess just delegates to the other agents. So I guess it's going to say, hey, architect, do that, and then the code does something else. Yeah, architect mode, going to do something. And then, yeah. But the orchestrator is cool. Then I guess the main two modes are architect and code, which I guess are similar to Cloud Code, plan, and the normal mode. So likely we're gonna start with this and then jump into the code. Yeah, do we have a way to set up with GLM code and plan kilocode? I'm pretty sure it does have something there. Yeah, let me go to Z.ai. I think it's docs.z.ai. Yeah. Code and plan. Kilocode. Yeah, they have instructions for kilocode. And yeah, let me just see. So yeah, I will just get the keys and set up in providers. Okay. Amazing. All right, great. So I'm going to go with use your own API key. provider Z.ai. Amazing. International coding plan. That's great. What the? Oh, nice. It goes, yeah. This is a nice link to get the create new API key. That's going to be kilocode confirm. I'm going to copy this. I'm going to paste it here. And yeah, we're going to go with GLM 4.6. Yeah, for images, well, we cannot have GLM 4.6V here. That's interesting. Not sure why it doesn't have it there, but they won't support images. We're not using images that much, but technically they have a model that supports image, the 4.5V. But yeah, let's go with that. Okay, so I'm just gonna ask a question just to see. Let's go to the ask thing and say, what is this project about? Just see if we're connected. Okay, there's a nice interface, shows the token usage. It is like, okay. Oh, the interface is nice, really good. Checkpoints, API requests. It's really explicit, everything. So I like it. Okay, let's see how, okay, slash for commands, new task. Okay, let's take a look at these commands. Okay, report bug, new rule. Yeah, this I guess gonna save like in the rules file. Yeah, I can switch to the modes using slash. Yeah, small is just the compact. Not sure why they call it. Whatever. Okay, this just switch to the modes. Okay, so pretty much switching the modes, new task, new. So yes, I think the useful ones that we're gonna be using a lot, I guess. Okay, so the new task creates a new task, but brings the context, and then small just the compact that you have in. Oh, but maybe the commands will change based on what we have here. No, it doesn't seem like that. Yeah, okay. Let's see how is the... Okay. Let's see the context thing. So I can pass the terminal. Okay. Terminal. I can paste the URL to fetch contents. Okay, you can send the problem. So well integrated with VS Code. Let's see if I do like root.ts. Yeah. So it can... Yeah, normal thing. Let's just do component slash... Yeah. So the add image likely not gonna work because of GLM 4.6. Yeah, kind of a shame that I cannot use with GLM 4.5V, but yeah. I can include commits. Okay. Yeah, that's good. I think we have almost everything that we need. How do we configure MCP servers? We're gonna take a look. I think we can start like setting up the project. So the installation is done. Let's just try the CLI as well. So install kilocode CLI. Yeah, by the way, when was this first released? Let's go to GitHub and see the CLI. Does it have a different repository for the CLI? Likely is in kilocode. Does it have a changelog? CLI. Releases maybe? Let's just go to npm js. Let's search for kilocode CLI. And I guess we can see the history. Versions. So yeah, so this is quite new. So yeah, that's why I thought it didn't had a CLI. So as we're seeing with other agents, there is this trend where the agents are trying to be like everywhere. So yeah, normally they start either on like a CLI or on VS Code, and then they start slowly adding other places like Jetbrains and then CLIs, and then some of them go and build background agents that they host for you. I guess the pricing model is probably better because they control the compute as well, which means they can control the rate or how fast things go, which are, I guess better for load balancing or whatever. I don't know. So it's quite new. Yeah, I'm gonna install it. Like it's recent. 2 days ago, the 0.0.10. Yeah, sorry. So yeah, I'm gonna install it as well. I'm going to do needs use sg npm. That's gonna be kilocode CLI, and we can. I've been testing. Let's see if I continue. Let's go here and do kilocode. Is that the command? I was just installing. Okay, maybe now I have kilocode. I just kilo. Okay. All right. Interesting. Probably it has. Yeah, I have to paste the token again. They did the good thing to leave the input masked, which I appreciate. Okay, whatever. Let me just do dot kilocode. Just gonna remove dash rf. Gonna do this. Yeah, it's not pacing for some reason. Okay. Config. Sorry, that's kilocode CLI config JSON. And I guess how should that be? Maybe if I do ID GLN ZAI provider, it's gonna be ZAI. Yeah, I'm gonna have to see how to configure that. Kilocode CLI config reference for providers. Okay, ZAI. Yeah, provider. API model ID. That's gonna be GLM 4.6. I think that should be how. Yeah. API line is gonna be international coding. Yeah. API ZAI API line. Okay. Yeah, so this is for it to find the URL. So that's gonna be international coding. And I'm gonna call it default as well. Default. And here goes our ZAI token. API key. API key. That's gonna be token here. And I'm gonna drop this here. All right, so if I do kilo, provider, yeah, I forgot that. Okay, nice. So that's a beautiful ASCII art. I like it. Okay. Help. Okay, mode. Yeah. Mode. Yeah. Okay, this is how we change modes. Then we have clear. Yeah, it doesn't seem to have the compact, like small, compact. Yeah. So it doesn't have the compact. Yeah, so it's a pretty limited thing yet. So that's why I'm gonna be using. That's why I'm gonna be using the VS Code extension instead. Yeah. How do I? How do I? Yeah. Yeah. Adding context is weird. So yeah, I don't think it's a great experience on the CLI yet. But I mean, it's just 2 weeks old, so that's to be expected. But yeah, I just wanted to check how that was. So yeah, I think we can set up the project and use. Yeah, I'm gonna be using on VS Code to give it the best shot. All right. So as usual, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna come here and gonna go to the template. I'm going to create new repository. I'm gonna call Expensify kilocode. Kilocode. Yeah, kilocode, everything together. Seems better. I don't know why, but so I'm gonna clone that. All right. Let's clone this. Let's come here. Let's do Z Expensify continue, whatever. Git clone this. And I can do Expensify kilocode. Needs trust, needs install. And I'm going to do pnpm install. Great. Now we can open VS Code here. Oh, that's not what I want to do. I want to do this. Yes, I trust the authors. Let's just close this. All right. So we have kilocode here. And let's see how we set up. Okay. Let's see this interface. Yeah, so this is where I set up. Auto approve. Okay, so I guess these are the tools. Okay, read, write. Automatically switch between different modes. Yeah, that's cool. So tasks to do. Okay. So this is cool. I mean, I kind of like I don't know. So some models some agents they ask you questions, right? Actually, Claude Code started doing that a lot more, and I think it's really good, especially on the plan phase. But they start asking you questions. But I guess if you got a question in the middle of something and it's just like away, so this is a way of like, yeah, just pick the first option after a timeout. So kind of dangerous, but I mean, if you think about like it's maybe how a company would do, like, yeah, you ask your boss what's the best way, but they don't keep there waiting. If the boss doesn't answer, you just default to action and then you change if you need it. So it's an interesting thing. So okay, so it does have a browser tool. How does that work? Okay, I want to see that browser use. Okay, so yeah, it probably uses a headless browser, but then you can use an existing browser. So you can view that. Interesting that the default is to have that. Yeah, I'll test that. Right. Configure displays. Okay. Interesting. So it does support some autocomplete, but you do need a model for the autocomplete. Again, we tested something like that in Continue. Yeah, maybe if I use my open router, I do have some credits there. So let's try to configure OpenRouter. Create API key. Let's call it kilocode. Copy this. Providers. Let's add a new one. Let's call OpenRouter. Create profile. And I'm gonna call it OpenRouter. OpenRouter. That's gonna be the key. And yeah, just search what they recommend for autocomplete. Autocomplete. Autocomplete models OpenRouter. Code completion. Test autocomplete model for kilocode. Maybe I can. Okay, I do have SuperMaven, so maybe I can connect SuperMaven. Let me remove this. Let's just save this. I mean, I can default. Can I add? Let's try. SuperMaven. Create profile. Yeah. Yeah, maybe it only works with their paid thing. Yeah, this is AI model providers. Yeah, okay. So it does require kilocode. Maybe you can use with the free plan. Let me just, yeah, I just remove. Yeah, I'm not gonna be using OpenRouter now, so I'm just gonna remove it. Let's try to add kilocode. Create profile. Kilocode. Yeah, I'm gonna log in with GitHub. Great. Okay, so I guess I can probably Save. Let's change the default. I guess I can maybe now use autocomplete. Yeah. So yeah, autocomplete seems to require. Let's see. Autocomplete. Maybe it does require a plan or some credits. Not sure if there's any free usage. I would doubt. But yeah, I just want to test it. Sorry, where is that again? Okay, yeah, using kilocode autocomplete. Yeah, I likely need to pay for that. But yeah. Okay, so the command is not the autocomplete. Okay. All right, MCP servers. Oh, they do have a marketplace of MCP servers. That's cool. Not sure why. Yeah, this is one column, then becomes two columns, and then becomes one column again, and then becomes two columns again. Yeah, this is good. Okay, that's cool. So I guess I can come here, say such like Prisma. Yeah, not easy. How I can configure MCP servers. MCP servers. Okay, maybe if I go to installed. Yes, edit pro. Okay, yeah, it's just MCP servers. So I guess what I need to do, sorry, how do I do split horizontal, split right? Yeah, I don't know what is the shortcut for that, but yeah, MCP.json here. I guess it's the same thing, how to sum. So I'm just gonna do this and see. Okay, it is connected to both. Nice. All right. So that part was easy. Language, experimental, enable fast apply. Okay, nice. I can use morph. So yeah, let's add a morph key. Morph LLM. Yeah, I'm gonna stop recording. All right. So I'm going to come here, models, sorry, providers. I'm going to drop this. Yeah, I'm gonna add a new one. I'm gonna call this morph. I'm gonna call morph. Oh, how do I add a morph? Interesting. Oh, maybe it's not here. Maybe I need to go to experimental, enable fast apply. Okay, yeah. And let's go with the fast. Nice, that's interesting. Yeah, we can disable if we don't like how it's going. Okay. All right, we can configure prompts. Oh, they have a bunch of existing prompts. Oh. That's interesting. I wanna like, how does that work? Does it? if I do like, oh, maybe these are like the system prompts, and I cannot like. Yeah, I'm gonna have to learn that. Ah, okay, yeah. So these are, it's not like arbitrary. So these are the system prompts. That's interesting. You can change the system prompts. Okay, yeah. I guess like if I select this, likely, yeah. Okay, so explain with kilocode. So this likely will generate discard changes. Yeah, it generated. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so we can. That's nice. You can edit the system prompts. I'm not going to be messing with that. I believe that they will probably do a better job than I do. So yeah, let's go. That's cool. Okay. All right. So that's that. Let's see how we can set up like what is a agents MD maybe. Agents MD instructions. Rules. Rules. Custom rules. Okay. This is I guess more similar to. Okay, so yeah, they're going the same direction as Cursor and some other tools that we tested. Okay, does it have like a front matter as well? Specify. Oh, yes, we can likely come here and configure the rules, right? Context. Let's see what we have here in context. Okay, yeah, there's a bunch of knobs that you can tweak. Yeah, kind of like advanced usages, but that's interesting. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm just going to, yeah, what I'm going to do, I'm going to come here, these instructions, I'm going to come here, new folder, it's going to be rules, and I'm just going to move these instructions here, and I'm going to call it name workflow. Yeah, whatever. There's a few other things here. All right, I guess we can delete this. Is there a way that I can? How can I see the context? All right, all right. Mm-hmm. Okay, so those have some shortcuts here. Okay, so we can load existing previous sessions. We can delete the sessions here as well. That's cool. Yeah. All right, so this is what I'm gonna do. We're gonna start coding. I think we are ready to start coding. I'm just going to do git status, git add dot, git add again. Yes, that's about right. Git commit -m. Wait, what have I changed on git test config? How have I changed here? Oh, that probably was just the formatter. Yeah, just a little bit more focus. Git commit -m. Project setup for kilocode. All right. Now what I'm going to do, we're going to start the project. I'm just going to take a break to get some more water and I'll be right back. All right, sorry, just had something to eat, but yeah, I think I'm ready to get started. So I'm just going to copy the prompt here and we're going to see how that prompt behaves when I just paste it here. All right, so go on architect and let's develop. Let's go /product. Okay, PRD main, right, and tasks. Okay, I'm gonna send it. Okay. Should we implement all the core features? That's an interesting thing. Yeah, that's why. Okay, this is actually quite good, the architect mode. A lot of the models just assumingly go to these implement all database models first. And I always have to ask them not to do that because it makes it hard for me to validate that it's been properly built. Okay, I can copy here. I guess I can answer. Just keep in mind that a good part of the user management is likely already implemented in the code base. We might need to implement the org management first before we go to invitations. So maybe that should impact it. Wait. No. What are you doing? What are you doing? Oh, what? No. Okay. Let me. We need. Let's not. I mean, it asked me and I said something else. And then it's, yeah. Do database up front. Instead, we should do one feature feature at a time. So with with everything db domain DRP API and UI, so we can keep validating as we progress. I'll have to make this a little bit smaller so I can view things slightly better. I'm confused of what is like this user management. Organization associations and role-based access control. Can I move this to like another side maybe? I can have secondary sidebar. Oh really? When I move it just... Oh, the task is still running. Oh, okay, no, stop the task. I can't. Okay. Yeah, so I'm trying to understand like what is the difference. Okay, so this because we still need a way in task 1 to know which users on each are part of which orgs. Maybe we should have the membership model already in task 1, but defaulting to admin, but setting it as admin when we create the org. This will reduce the changes between task 1 and 3 and future tasks. Yeah, I think this is good enough. Okay, now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come here, I'm gonna rename this to org management. Come here and read me. It's gonna become org management. Open preview to the side. Org management. Okay, great. All right. I just renamed the task1 file name to better reflect what it is now. No, I already done that. No, let's see, whatever. What was this change here? Yeah, it didn't change anything. Okay. All right. I'm just going to do git add dot git commit -m dot created tasks. All right, I'm gonna sign this, and we can change the code and say, let's implement task 001. And I'm going to close everything else. Why there's two? I'm confused. This is why it's a little bit weird. Like why it is. Yeah. Okay, wait a second. That's my bad. I need to do Collision restart. I restarted my computer and I forgot to do that. And also let's do Docker Composer SD. Okay, great. Run. Yeah, I'm not sure why it is showing this duplicate. I don't know. Well, okay, this is a little bit. Yeah, maybe I should just. Okay. You can generate Prisma and also run migrations because I've already started the Docker Compose and Docker, of course. I'm not sure why this is showing as duplicate, but yeah. LSP restart. TypeScript restart test server. Okay. Have 0 errors. That's great. Run. Yeah, I'm not sure why this is showing as duplicate. Wait, what are you doing? Yeah, it's a little bit fast. What? What is going on? There's so yeah, it's, it's going so fast. It's hard to keep up with it. Okay, so config. What is yeah? This is weird. Okay, yeah, this is next out the weird stuff. Okay, so you augmented. Yeah, it's going on a out based. I'm not sure I like that. Yeah, I'm gonna ask it to update it. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I didn't specify that we should be using to keep things simple. Yeah, the reason why I don't like to use session-based out is that it it makes it hard. Like if you're okay, if you have like a true multi-tenant setup where the users are completely segregated, this can be interesting. But the challenge is that depending on my issue is more with the like permalinks. Maybe we should give this a try. I mean, I've been doing the path-based multi-tenancy for a while. Maybe I should just embrace this idea just to see where it is leads us. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna go with the flow. Yeah, my preference is for path-based because this allow. Yeah, actually, I'm gonna go with path-based because then it means like if I'm on multiple organizations, I can have both of them open without having to change my subscription and my session, which means that if I change in one tab, it doesn't affect the other tabs. Let's not use session-based org selection, and let's instead opt for a URL-based approach on the UI and just passing the org ID in TRPC routers for things that need it. This allow a more versatile multi-tenant setup, multi-org setup, where one user can have different tabs looking at different orgs. I mean, it's just my preference. I mean, honestly, for this, I wouldn't care. But I just want to see how it adapts. Okay, just rolled back that. That's good. I guess this was also rolled back. Let's see the git diffs here. Okay, user org. So fast. Yeah, it's hard to see the diffs here. Maybe because of this fast apply. Yeah. This is just showing like the whole file. And maybe we should disable the fast apply. Yeah, I guess when I do this, it's too hard. Oh, that was a new file being created. I mean, it kind of like done everything, so I think I would just review. It changes stuff so fast and it just pops in the screen, which makes it hard to follow. App components, organization. Yeah, restart, yes, or yes, it's probably the best. Yeah. Okay, I can. Oh, that's nice. I can see the whole diff in one go. Okay, says it's completed. Okay, that's good. Yeah, that was generated. Wait. Oh, it really created the whole thing. Why was the expense model created here already? Yeah, and this is hard to judge if this is mostly likely the model's fault, the GLM 4.6. But yeah. Okay, let's take a look. Yeah, I liked the experience where I could see the whole all of the changes. Okay, so the slug is passed in the creation. All right. Okay. Yeah, I think the more that I use, I like to. Yeah, what my current flow nowadays is that I open Z and then I open like the terminal thing, like this, and then I just make it like really big. So I hide this and then I normally make this like really big, and I keep like alternating open and closed. So I guess I can do like a similar thing. Yeah, I wonder if I could have that in the in this bottom part, but yeah, whatever. Okay. Okay. Oh, now I just see the changes of this part here. Okay. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna review through Git. Gonna review this, gonna stage that. And then I can So just added user organization. So organization has a slug and a name, created that thing, then the relationships, then user organization has a role, which by default is member. It can be admin or member, and then I created that, updated that, okay. All right, we have user organization, the relationships, that's fine. So we can add that, stage this, migration log, we can stage. Yeah, these two migrations, we can keep it like that for now. I will squash everything once we have the posts thing removed. Okay. Okay, I think for these things, I think it's better for us to just take a look. Okay, there's some things that are not red. I think we can run lint and test, so that's what we're gonna do. But yeah, so let's do this. So all right, this is fine. There's organization test. We're gonna take a look at that. This seems to just have added a few things here and there. Okay. All right. And I guess okay, let's see this thing, or your organization, and then create new organization. Okay, that's nice. Okay, there's prefect, and then hydrate client, and then show org info and org members. Okay, I like the organization. Okay. So org info is the one that does the actual queries, which are prefetched. Right, this is for the form. Oh, we have an organization edit form where this is defined. Okay, it's an internal thing here. Okay. All right, so let's start. Server, I'm going to do pnpm. What? No, here. pnpm run dev and see what we get. Let's close tabs below. Sign in. Email at example.com. Localhost 8025. Okay. Manage organizations. All right. My org. Okay, it's not invalidating. Yes, we can easily do that. Just come here to the org form, and then yes, we should also do choose. How do I do that? I always forget how to do that. So API dot use utils. Okay, here we go. Utils, and I can come here and do utils dot invalidate. Oh yeah, that's our organization dot get user organizations dot invalidate. I can just do void here. All right, so I guess now if I refresh this, another org, yeah, it automatically invalidates. And I guess if I try to do another org and do my org, it should give me an error that this logo already exists. Okay, this is good. All right, we come here, view. Yeah, I guess if my org 2, okay, this is being validated. That's cool. All right, I guess if I do another org, that's gonna, yeah, it's validating. Okay, I think we're good. The navigation is just not that quite there yet, but yeah, this should be fine. I like the Pro here. All right. Um, yeah, I think we tested everything. So now, I'm just going to add all of them, and I'm going to do a commit. I normally don't do that, but I wait for to have the fully working thing. Because if I do npm run test, I'm pretty sure it's not going to work. All right, test. Let's review this. Okay, he did this part correct. Oh yeah, this is my bad. It's because I npm run test setup. Test reset. Sorry, test reset. And then if I run npm run test, it should work now. Yeah, but now it's failing. Yeah, because it's mocking the database, and that's not what we want to do. So let's ask it to fix it. The organization test is not following the same practices as post test. We should not be mocking the DB layer, although the call to vi.mock server DB is still required. That call sets up a transactional testing environment where everything is wrapped in one transaction that is rolled back in the end of the test. You can see the implementation in the gmocks index. Okay, let's test now. All right, there's one failing test. Let me just do one thing. Package JSON test run, and let's do. There is one failing test. Check it. That doesn't make any sense. What was the test again? Was line 2 19. You're gonna get the same results. What are you talking about? Yeah, you're just hallucinating. Your analysis was wrong. The test was just wrong because this was wrong. The issue is that when the user is not a member of the org, we throw forbidden. And let me just go to how can I add something to the context? So let's go to the get. Let's forward all. Alright, so we have to get. And we can see that this is where we do, if not membership, through RPCR forbidden. Kilocode. Add to context. Okay, I can just do command Y. We should have just changed that error to return 404, not found instead. No. I mean, this is slightly better, but yeah, this will work, but that's not what we want. While this, okay, I'm gonna cancel this, fix the issue. This is not what we want. Let's just always return 404 regardless of whether the, yeah, actually not, because we can, yeah, sorry, let's just, yeah, that's fine. Okay, we can just return 404 even if the org exists. No, what are you doing? What are you doing? No. Okay. Small. No. Oh, this is GLM just going crazy. I think I should change to something like Sonnet 4 or whatever. You got it wrong. What I want is if org exists, but you return 404 if the membership don't exist, regardless of whether the org exists or not. That is, don't give too much context, even when the user just try to get the membership with the org in one query and return 404 if you couldn't find the membership. No, I'm saying no. Okay, I give up. This is, come on, GLM 4.6. You were doing a better job in open code. Okay, you know what I'm going to do? Test. Yeah, now I want to go here, go to organization, not. Yeah, whatever, this is fine. I'm not going to worry too much about it. Yeah, I mean, if we're... Yeah, whatever, this should be fine. It just ignored what I was suggesting, but I don't want to waste too much time on this. Yeah, I mean, the agent is fine. I think there are some UX. So this seems to be like a highly customizable option, which I think is why people really like it. What that means, though, is that you're likely going to have to tweak a lot of things. I don't think GLM 4.6 is doing a great job here. I'm not sure if it's the model, if it is the agent. It's always like a combination of everything. Yeah, this is what I'm going to do now. I'm going to start a new task. And I'm going to come here and do... Actually, let's go back here. What I'm going to do, npm run lint. PM run check. I think I have a check as well, right? PM run type check. See if there's any type check issues. Okay, we don't have. I'm just going to do small to test the compact. Okay. All right. So I'm going to say there are some linting errors. Lint check terminal for the last error. What? It's just hallucinating. Okay, wait. I'm just going to... Okay, let me just... Okay. One thing at a time. I'm just going to stage all. Wait, what was changing in the back? That was my changes. Okay. So I'm going to fit org management. And then I'm going to start a new task because I think GLM is already hallucinating. Terminate. There are some issues with the linting. You can check terminal to see the last errors. There's some lint issues with the code, and you can Please fix them and run npm run lint from time to time to check the progress. Yeah, the context got big and then it was just doing crazy stuff. Okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna wait and see the whole diff is gonna be easier for me to understand. Yeah. Again, it's hard to see the diffs, but I think a lot of the agents are getting to that point. One, they're too fast. Two, there's a lot of like context switching. Yeah, let's just wait. Yeah, this seems about right. Yeah, again, now it didn't. It showed as duplicated, but before it didn't. Yeah, so there's this weird bug here. Okay, so I guess now I can see the changes. Okay, so this is where we review. Okay, so yeah, I just escaped this and void refetch. That's good. So organization list. What are the issues? Oh, okay, there was this error thing, but we're never setting error, and that was just that's good. I mean, that was a hallucination, but then the lint caught it. All right. Image next image. What how are we using the next image? Okay, I guess this is. Oh wait, there's an image on the user. Yeah, it was already there in the code, I guess. Hmm. Yeah, let me open organization members. Okay. Yeah, did some like changes. Not sure exactly why that was necessary. Organization members. Ah, okay, yeah. So it goes from this to this next. so weird. Like, yeah, I hate next, honestly. All right. I set error, refetch, then set error, refetch. Just remove refetch, set error. And then there's a new call as operators. Yeah, seems about right. So organization selector is just the organization ID not being used. That's interesting. Yeah, because we don't have the organization selector. It's not being used right now. So we have this weird scenario. Okay, I'm gonna, yeah, it fixed it, but then I will ask it to improve it. Okay. All right. And then on page, not found, it's not used. Okay. Yeah, so the test is after each and auth not being used. Yeah, existing org was not being used either. Okay. All right. And then post test, alt sign in, not being used. That's good. All right, then this coalesce operator. I think we're good. npm run lint. All right. npm runs check. Okay, great. Now what I'm gonna do is I will come here, stage all, and do fix lint issues. All right. Yeah, I can sync changes. That's fine. Like I'm gonna have to use my touch ID to send it. And now we're going to, I'm gonna ask it to do a few more changes. So I'm going to start new task. We have an issue with organization selector. Initially, when doing task 1, we started with a session-based org selection, but we then moved to a URL-based. Right now, it is not an issue because it seems that organization selector is not being used, at least not rendered in the normal code flow. Let's fix that file and use it in the layout for the nested org/id. What is the URL? Organizations/id pages, so that we can easily switch orgs. This selector should just redirect to the organization's ID page. Yeah, I think it's going to complain because params are not being awaited. Oh, that was actually quite beautiful. That's amazing. I'm impressed. If we go here, yeah, I guess when we go to next task, act. Can I suggest changes? Okay, but that's not the command. That's not the command. Run npm, run type check, or and I'm going to add. Okay, I can add. Nice. Yeah, let's add this to improved commands as well. Yeah, I'm going to check. I think there's going to be linting issues. Yeah. You forgot to. Yeah, let me just do rules. The way to. Yeah, new rule. Before marking the task as completed, make sure to run run pnpm test pnpm check also works. Yeah, and pnpm check at least once to make sure so that tests lint and type check are all properly set up. Have you changed the rules? What if this new rule does then? All right. So now I think we can come here and work in org selector. Okay, I think we're good. Gonna start a new task. I'm gonna try to go. Yeah, that's one thing. I want to go with orchestrator, and I want to see what happens if I ask it to do one task. So let's do task 002. Oh, that's enterprise. Okay, honestly, I like that. That was quite cool. This is really cool. Come on, this is honestly, this is amazing actually. And okay, I'm impressed. I think this probably has to do with I mean the model, of course, but yeah, the probably something on the yeah, maybe it called the architect mode. I don't know. It's yeah, there was like the visibility of the progress here is a little bit weird. Like it's not the best, but something somewhere that was actually quite impressive. I'm not gonna lie, because this is a quite cool thing to do, and honestly, this is something that a lot of yeah, having this up front means we can eventually migrate from a fixed role based access control to a proper role based access control with custom roles. Yeah, I'm not sure what it's doing now. Like it's yeah, this these helper functions are always like complicated. Yeah, I'm just impressed. This is quite cool. I mean, it's quite enterprise kind of code, but I like where this is going. This is like enterprise ready, baby. Yeah, maybe we should have used like an enum, maybe. The problem is that our new authorization middleware is expecting. I honestly don't even know what's going on. This seems like overkill as hell. Like, this is not great. Yeah, what I don't like about this. This seems a little bit overkill. I wonder if it's easier to just because I have this draw new thing. Maybe all we needed to do is to have like a function here called like authorize that we pass in the org ID, and like if we pass the org ID and the context, right? So it takes the user from this, it then returns the role, like the whole membership, the role and the org. I wonder if that's you wouldn't even need the role, honestly, for most cases, because the authorize would do everything. Okay, I'm going to stop. I wonder if think we can do a much simpler job by having a function called authorize that receives the org ID, a list of required permissions. And let me just see how it was thinking about like authorizing. Yeah, required permissions, and just either return the org role of the current user or throws a TRPC error, a proper TRPC error. This means each route can pass the organization ID however it wants based on what is the parameter for that ID or organization, which simplifies the whole Z pipeline as well. You're absolutely right. I was waiting for my first "you're absolutely right" thing. Yeah, a few things. I think the morph LM, it's actually quite good for making edits. I'm not sure if this is I need to test with that thing disabled. But yeah, everything just seems really fast. Nah, that's not what we want. We use pnpm instead of npm. Run pnpm test. Okay, great. Let's close everything and see the changes. Close others. Wait, what are you doing? Oh, it's on a subtask. Oh, that's going to be such a giant change. No, cancel. We don't want to inject org role in this session. See Yeah, I think in task one, we task one. We already decided that this is bad context management. This I should likely have like if I was doing some spec driven development and have like some spec open spec something that I want to test. Like there's the I could apply the spec deltas, I think is how they call it. And this should be something that would have been applied, and then likely the agent would not be that lost in task one. So I'm gonna come here and I'm gonna do command Y. Okay. Okay, honestly, I think you are quite lost. Cancel. Okay, wait a second. I'm lost. I don't know where is the main task, where is the subtask. This is confusing. Yeah, this subtask thing is really confusing. Okay, so this is the main task, right? And I guess, okay, enhance authentication context with we want to update our plan. We don't need to have org and role info in the out context anymore. Therefore, let's make sure it should have just got the context. So I could get the user ID and that from here, and then instead of getting DB and user ID, you should likely get the context instead. Okay, I have user management router, update user role, remove user from organization, get user organization. What? This is really bad. Okay, so this is wild. Like, this is really wild. Like, beware of vibe coding, friends. Like, this pretty much just. Okay, imagine you are like. Yeah, this just automatically grants access. This doesn't make any sense. I don't want to get all the user organizations for. Okay, I need to stop it. So this is the challenge, right? Because it ended up that subtask, and now okay, I just need to stop you here for a second. We have an issue. We shouldn't be able to see other users uh, organization, as that would grant unauthorized access to that user's information. And we have that really weird and dangerous function in user management that allows just that. The only list of user organizations should be the one that lists the current user orgs. It's currently implemented here, right? Like already implemented in organization.ts. Photo. Okay, yeah. Oh, like I could definitely see like people introducing these security vulnerabilities if they just like blindly trusting these things. Yeah, this is dangerous. Oh my god. Yeah, I like this idea of the orchestrator, but because it's hard to visualize like the subtasks and whatnot, I don't see myself using it because yeah, okay. I think this is cool if you want to just fire and forget, and then maybe in the end review everything. If you want to like do this kind of like pair programming experience, I think this orchestrator is really bad because it doesn't give me any visibility. Like when it finishes a subtask, now I lose the whole context, and it's hard to follow along. Yeah, the UI would need some improvements to be able to, yeah, like I could see maybe the breakdown of the task, and then yeah, it's just weird. I don't think it's a great experience. I might be doing something wrong. Might be just because I'm noob on Kilocode, but I don't like that experience that much. So yeah, there's that. All right. Yeah, this refetch members, I think we should just do the invalidate, right? Okay. But this code is really good. Like this, it's crazy how the same session I can do something that is really good, which is this like none other. Yeah, this is really good. None other model. Sorry, none other like project that I've done, regardless of model or agent, done something as good as this. Like it was always like someone like, oh, if it is admin, then show that or that, which is okay. But if tomorrow you want to change who can do what or have multiple different types of roles, for example, then you are really screwed, right? So having this component called permission guard, it's really good. Yeah, so here's where it gets complicated, right? He's gonna finish this, and boom, now it's gone, and then this we're back to the main task, and it's gonna start a new subtask, and then if you're not paying attention, then you're like, yeah, into the subtask again. But okay, I'll be honest, like Yeah, if you want a more like hands-off approach, then maybe you review everything in the end. Maybe this is a good idea. Yeah, the only challenge now is that this is something that I should have thought about because task three is user invitation, and there's no way for me to manually test some of this stuff. Uh, but yeah, or whatever. I digress. I think what I would do is I would just commit, just make sure test runs and whatnot. I'm gonna review, see if the code makes sense. Then I'm going to proceed with task three, and then I'm going to test. Um, I mean, should we have this single test for all the things? It's weird to have these tests because I would imagine the tests to be in each thing, right? Because otherwise, this thing would just grow in complexity. Yeah, I think it's getting into like hallucination territory. I'm gonna just wait and review. Again, it makes me anxious to stop and try to fix because some of the stuff were created in another subtask, and then now the context is all lost. So I don't think this subtask experience is great unless you just want to just let it go. You know what I mean? I'm confused on what this thing is testing. Yeah, it's just generated so much code, and I don't know. Like, why? Yeah, this is honestly quite bad. Too over engineered. Use the NPM instead. Yeah, it's taking a while. He just generated so many changes. That's wild. Like that's this is what I'm gonna do. Alright, let's close others. Let's do here. See new changes. Okay, I'm not gonna look at that now. Neither that. Okay. Use role in organization. Current user role. Permissions. Org update. Okay, I like that. Yeah, that permission guard thing is great. I'm confused on what is that? Why do we need this? This doesn't make a lot of sense. Yeah, whatever. That's great. Oh, there's a new. Okay. Okay, prefetch here. That's great. Yeah. Never mind that. Okay. Yeah, like why would we? Yeah, whatever. Yeah, this seems like something that would be hard to. Yeah, I'm gonna leave that open. Yeah, I'm gonna ask it to move both these tests and the other. These some switching tests. And this is confusing. Like what is what? This doesn't make any sense. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So this test cases here are too confusing, not great, and this seems like a yeah. This permission group seems just like a hell to maintain. Like, is this even being used? View file. Go to references. No references. Go to references. No references. Go to references. No references and go to references. No references. So yeah. So that seems really bad. Oh, come on. Don't do that to me. Okay. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to use Git too. Yeah, let's go. Yeah, this can be staged. Organization info can be staged. This can be staged. Staged user profile as well. This is fine. Yeah, the authorization lib thing, we need to talk about it. Yeah, this is not great. I mean, whatever, right? Although, okay, let's just stage all and let's just fit user management first pass. And I'm going to commit that, and I'm going to come back to kilocode. We are doing a little bit of over engineering here. First, there are issues with the first. Some tests are too overkill or just doesn't make sense at all. Especially, we now have a bunch of unrelated bunch of have tests in RBAC, test.ts, edge cases, test.ts, that are checking a lot of different routes. The organization switching test doesn't even make any sense to me. The others already have some of those features being tested in the specific router tests, such as organization test, routers test, and routers user management test. We should check for duplicated tests and those that exist in the RPC edge cases and edge cases that are not on the specific router tests should be moved there. Remember, we want a cohesive and easy to read test suite. And that's the problem, because AIs don't follow like TDD, and I guess like test coverage is a really weird thing to measure, exactly because of that. I can create a bunch of weird tests and keep adding tests, and then have like repeated tests for the same thing, which means whenever we change something, something weird happen. So I'm just gonna talk about that, and then I will talk about the authorization, like the group things, just so it doesn't confuse the whole context. Yeah, he just like created a bunch of weird things. Okay, yeah, this. What the hell does it even mean? Cross organization access control. Yeah, whatever. I mean, I guess it makes sense. It's just weird. Yeah, this is just generating so much garbage. It's just a nightmare. Like, what is the difference between this and this? Like, it's the exact same test. Like, it's literally the exact same test. Like, okay, you are not paying attention to the tests. For example, is exactly the same as. Yeah, it's not doing a great job. It's just like copying the test that doesn't say the same thing. To be honest, I think it would be better to just drop those tests and hope that they are tested elsewhere. Yeah, this orchestrator mode, I think it ended up being prone to a little bit of like over engineering. Uh, yeah, let me just also let's not assert the order of the your test for should return organizations in creation order can be really flaky because the created at will be set to now and because the test runs in a transaction it can mess up the order. Instead you should either not test it, not worth it. Instead you should hard code the created at on the setting of the database for the test. Good. bunch of weird tests. Okay, it's almost 2 hours of vibe coding. I'm just gonna go with that. I'm just gonna test how the code is running. I'll run it again. Just gonna see organizations. Yeah, view. Yeah, the UI became a little bit weird. Head organization. Yeah, not great. I'll give the kilo code the benefit of the doubt. Like it can work with maybe a better model. Maybe GLM is not a great model for that. But I have a feeling that any other model that I throw out here, it's gonna be really, really expensive in terms of tokens. Yeah, I'm just gonna call it a day. It's already 2 hours, so yeah. Just gonna let it wrap it up, and I'm gonna commit the code as is. And yeah, it just seemed like it spent like too many tokens in. Yeah. Yes, run. It's probably not gonna work. Use PNPM instead. Yeah, I still haven't figured out how to add like the slash new rule. Didn't seem to work. I'm not sure how to use that. This shouldn't be an issue since tests run in isolated transactions that are rolled back in the end. That are rolled back in the end. Maybe this is because maybe this is because the test is creating conflicting data on itself. Maybe forgetting about some before each hook. That being said, it is good to generate random slugs because otherwise it can generate deadlocks when executing the test. Because even with the isolated transaction, one task can the transactions lock between them when they create the same slug. So if test A tries to create slug 1 and slug 2, but test B tries to create slug 2 then slug 1, there's a chance that one will lock each other. Yeah, we're already 2 hours in, but I'm just gonna wait until this ends. Yeah, we're almost there. Okay, I'm gonna stop you here. npm run test. Okay, what is the test that is failing? I'm just gonna go directly on that. User management test. Cross organization should prevent actions in organization where user is not a member. Okay. Yeah, here's the problem. You know what? I'm just gonna delete these tests. It's just so weird. PnPm run test. Yeah, it's just not thinking through it and whatever. Let's just make sure the test runs. Likely we're gonna have a bunch of lint issues, but time's up. That's what we're gonna get, and that's what we're gonna go with. All right. Okay, we're good. Let's just come here. Y'all test simplified tests. Yeah, whatever. Sync changes, and we are done. All right, closing thoughts on Kilocode. I think the experience was good. Was a good extension for VS Code. I had much less issues with that than I had with Continue, but with Continue, the issues I had were maybe because of how I was trying to configure that. But yeah, I'll let that pass. Yeah, the CLI tool here is not ready, but we didn't use that. But the IDE version was okay. I like the context, the way you can pass context. It's nice when it's done with all the things and shows you the changes. I think this is also quite a nice thing. And although I normally the way I prefer it works, just use Git and then I review as it was a Git like as I would review a colleague's PR. That's the way that I've been working with AI lately. But yeah, so it's cool. The multiple agents are also interesting. The architect did some interesting stuff. But yeah, I think overall the some of the stuff that was done here was over engineered. Some of those were like over was more engineered than other things, but not over engineered. Like I honestly liked the idea of having the permissions and then having that customizable. This was a little bit over engineered, if you ask, but it gives a really solid foundation. So this is one of the things that if you don't get right in the beginning of your project, you don't have like the centralized permission thing. This is the type of thing that always bites you if you just ignore it. So I think it was a little bit like premature, design that was not in the requirements, but it was an interesting thing to do. So I like what was done there, and I think my feeling, and again, this is hard to evaluate. It is because of the way the architect mode operated, especially with the orchestrate thing. However, the orchestrate thing had a few flaws, in my opinion, mostly related to the user experience, right? So it started all the subtasks, but then it keeps like jumping between one and the other, and it's hard to like stop and see what was done, or even trying to understand the whole thing. Yeah, it just felt a little bit like hands off. And again, hands off sometimes is cool. Like sometimes people want a hands off experience. That's not how I like to vibe code. I mean, I guess by definition, then it's less vibe code than what other people would call vibe code. But I like more of like a pair programming experience where I like following, because otherwise what happens, and it happened here, is that it just do some weird stuff, and then I don't have enough time to steer it in the right direction, because I can't even follow what it's doing, right? So it's like on the third subtask, but then I realized something that was wrong in the first one, and then it's weird because it's not clear where to send this feedback to, because that task is not doing anything weird, and that has its own context. So if I stop there and say, hey, what was done on this other thing is wrong, it's not going to work. So I have to wait until it wraps up that subtask. But again, because it doesn't stop, I have to be like, when it's going to be over. So maybe if there was a way to, maybe there is a way, and I just don't know, with this subtasks on the orchestrator to stop every time that it finishes a subtask, I think it would be good, right? So I can say, hey, right, this task is fine, but I realize I'm mistaken the other one. So I go back to the orchestrator and say, hey, this is wrong, fix it, and it will likely just start a new subtask. So yeah, so the orchestrator is a promising thing, but it seems to be hard to, steer. And also it seems quite expensive, like if it was, I guess if I was using like OpenRouter, I'm pretty sure this session would have been really, really expensive. So yeah, so it's fine if you're using something like GLM, using the ZAI coding plan. So I don't pay per use, I pay per month. So okay, I think it's a great combination. So if you want to if you want to use VS Code and you want to pay for the Z.AI coding GLM coding plan, I think it's actually a powerful combination. I think I still prefer Cloud Code, but I have bias because I'm using that on my day-to-day job. But yeah, it was a okay experience. I think there's a lot of promising things with this orchestrator, and definitely you can do much more because there's a lot of customization. You can customize all the system prompts. You can tweak with a bunch of different settings, which I haven't done here. It's only 2 hours, but I feel like this is a really powerful tool that you can customize to your liking, which means a little bit more involvement. And I don't want to waste too much time on those things. Normally, I just want something that works most of the time, and then sorts out all the crazy grunt work that we need to do when refactoring big things or whatever. So that's not how I've been using AI in my day-to-day job. But this seems like a really powerful thing that you can customize. But which I think, and again, one experience shouldn't define compared to continue. I think the defaults here are much better, and like the onboarding was much better. It was easy to connect Z.AI, right? Everything was really smooth. The experience was really smooth on setting it up, even without using their own uh, provider. So really impressed with how it turned out. I think up until this point, this is the best VS Code extension that allows you to bring your own models that I've tested. I mean, I just tested uh, Copilot, which doesn't allow you to do that, and I tested Continue, and I think this is better than Continue. So far, really good. So yeah, and pair it with GLM coding planner, and you have a really good solution. So I enjoyed it. There's some stuff that could be better, especially for this more pair programming kind of experience. But if you want more hands off, I think it's great. If you want to tweak things, it's great. So that's my take on that. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I see you in the next one. Bye bye.